Hello everybody and welcome back to our story. Obviously this is What If Kid Goku Turned Super Saiyan. This is part 2. I will leave a link to the first part of this in the description. So to recap what's happened so far. Goku lost to Ten Shinhan in the finals of the 22nd Tenkaichi Budokai. And as they were all leaving after the tournament ended, tragedy struck. Krillin was dead and Goku was furious. So furious that he transformed into a Super Saiyan on the spot and killed Tambourine with a single blow, before he could even return the stolen Dragon Ball and tournament roster to his master, King Piccolo. Sometime later, Goku woke up and sped towards a cluster of Dragon Balls, only to find Master Roshi, Ten, and Chaozu, who explained the situation to him in full. Once Piccolo arrived, Goku turned Super Saiyan and snatched the one-star ball from Piccolo, which he stole from Yajirobe, who's sadly absent from this story. Krillin and any other victims of Piccolo's are brought back to life just as Goku ends the fight. The Dragon Balls are now inactive, there's no Guardian of Earth, and no Piccolo Jr. The inert balls are taken to Kame House, and Goku speeds off on Kinto-un to Karin Tower, hoping to continue his training. Now we kick off part 2 at Karin Tower. Goku has just arrived and rather nonchalantly asks Karin if he can help him train. Karin is speechless. There's no way Karin can train Goku now, not with all his Piccolo-destroying power. But he has an idea. He tells Goku that there's nothing for him here, but there is someone else who might like to talk to him. Karin presents Goku with a bell, a sign that the boy is worthy to meet God. He tells Goku how to use the Nioibo to get up to Kami's lookout above them, and Goku sets off immediately. After what seems like quite a long time, but in reality really isn't, he reaches the base of the lookout, and using his tail, swings over to a ladder on the side. Upon reaching the top, he sees a strange genie seemingly waiting for him. When Goku mistakes him for God, the genie corrects him and introduces himself as Mr. Popo. Popo explains that although Goku is the first human that has ever been deemed worthy to meet Kami, he has run out of luck. He goes on to tell him that Kami and the Demon King were once the same person, and so their life force is linked. When Goku destroyed King Piccolo, he also killed Kami and rendered the Dragon Balls useless. Goku is taken aback by this news, and while Mr. Popo is clearly upset, he quickly regains his composure. Since Goku has come all of this way, he must pass Popo's test, and if he does, then Popo will train the boy to better control his mind and energy. Goku accepts, but even with Super Saiyan, he can't best the genie. I say this because Popo held his own against both Goten and Trunks as Super Saiyans in the Buu arc, and they're shown to be way stronger than Goku would be here, even with Super Saiyan. Despite this, Goku eventually passes Popo's test. Popo sees Goku's tremendous growth and perseverance firsthand, and agrees to train him. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the group split up and go their separate ways, all venturing out on their own to train in their own ways. They all vow to meet each other again in 3 years' time at the 23rd Tenkaichi Budokai. 3 years pass in mostly the same way as before, but with one difference. There is no Piccolo Jr., meaning there is no great enemy to fight against at the upcoming tournament. If it were anyone else, I would say this would lessen the effect of the training, but this is Goku. Goku always gives everything 100%, so I'm inclined to believe that his power after the 3 years would be much the same as in the original story. The tournament passes in much the same way as it does in the original story, but without Piccolo Jr. Goku agrees to marry Chi-Chi, and after defeating Ten Shinhan, goes on to defeat his childhood friend Krillin in the final round. Without Piccolo to eliminate him, Krillin dominated his half of the competition, eliminating Yamcha. But when the time came, he still wasn't strong enough to take down his best friend. They all leave the arena in high spirits, Krillin and Ten Shinhan resolving to become stronger to close the widening gap between themselves and Goku. The next 5 years are more or less the same as the original story. Goku and Chi-Chi are married, Ten Shinhan and Chaozu disappear on a training journey, and Yamcha becomes a baseball star. Krillin, on the other hand, continues his training. He decides the best way to get stronger and match up to his more powerful friend is to follow in his footsteps. He climbs Karin Tower once again, and even drinks the real Ultra Divine Water, which Goku never got to drink in this version. Krillin is strong enough to survive its effects, and his power skyrockets as a result. Is this a stretch? Perhaps, but I think a stronger and more motivated Krillin may just make him more useful for a little while. So to that end, Karin gives him a bell and allows Krillin to climb up to the lookout. Now, obviously, both Krillin and Karin are aware that Kami is gone by this point, but they know that Mr. Popo trained Goku for the last 3 years and that he's still up there. Maybe he's even looking for a new Guardian of Earth. Krillin reaches the top and trains with Mr. Popo for the next 3 years. After this, he enters the 24th Tenkaichi Budokai. Without Piccolo being there to destroy the arena in this story, it was never cancelled. Yamcha and Ten enter the tournament as well, but Krillin is too much for them, winning the whole thing. After the tournament and some farewells, he goes on his own training journey in the wilderness to perfect his style. Needless to say, all of this makes Krillin a lot stronger than the 206 he was boasting at the start of the Saiyan arc. I'd say this Krillin would be pushing 400 at least by the time of the Kame House reunion, close to Piccolo Jr. in the original story, but still just trailing behind Goku. Meanwhile, Goku hasn't been sitting on his hands either. Over the 5-year time skip, he's been applying his newly acquired ki control to his Super Saiyan transformation, using meditation to bring the emotions brought about by the transformation under control. He had started this process on the lookout, but was now perfecting his control. After almost 5 years of intense training, and spending time with his family, Goku decided he'd soon be able to train himself to stay golden for longer, to make it feel natural. But he would think more on that after the reunion at Kame House. Thanks to this, I'd say Goku is likely a little bit stronger than normal, but not by much. I'll sit him at 420. It's not a big change compared to his original 416, but with Super Saiyan, that's still an extra 200 points. Goku and a young Gohan head off towards Kame House on Kinto-un, and when they arrive, Goku notices a big difference in Krillin's power and demeanour. This clearly isn't the same guy he fought at the tournament. Wait, he's the champion? Did Goku miss one? How long had it been? After a while, Goku and Krillin sense a huge power coming their way, and this is where things really start to change. Raditz has arrived, smugly declaring himself the brother of Goku, to everybody's shock. Raditz, completely unaware that Kakarot wasn't sent to destroy the Earth, berates his brother for being such a fool. One full moon and he could have... Wait, where's his tail? Goku explains that his tail was removed, and Raditz is aghast. He explains how the Saiyans are a warrior race who conquer and sell planets for a living, and that currently, they're only aware of 4 survivors. His 2 companions, himself, and his brother, Kakarot. And Raditz would know the hair of his father anywhere. Goku responds by saying that even if he is a Saiyan, and even if Raditz is his brother, the Earth is his home, and his name is Son Goku. It's then that Raditz notices Gohan. He begins to approach, and Goku, sensing that he doesn't have a chance in his base form, transforms right before Raditz's eyes, blocking his brother's knee with only 1 finger. Raditz recoils in shock, speechless. Goku tells him that if that's all he's got, he should leave. He doesn't stand a chance in a fair fight. After a few tense moments, Raditz manages to stutter out his words. You did it, Kakarot. You're the legendary Super Saiyan. Far away, on a distant planet, this has caught the attention of a certain prince and his companion. Vegeta opens his comms and tells Raditz to read his brother's power level. Raditz taps his scouter as it beeps and numbers roll out across the display. It's 21,000. Vegeta is shocked. How could this low-class scum be stronger than him? The prince, even if he is a Super Saiyan. Vegeta takes a moment to calm himself and then speaks to Raditz through the scouter again. He says to switch off his comms and then to tell Kakarot of the true plan. They will join him on Earth within the year. Raditz switches off his scouter. They couldn't risk Lord Frieza hearing about that plan. Not yet. Raditz takes off his scouter and sits down on the beach. This surprises Goku, who instantly powers down and asks what he's doing. Raditz sighs and tells his brother about the real plan. The plan to take out the tyrant who controls half the universe. He reveals that Frieza has had the Saiyan race under his thumb since before they were even born. Frieza was evil, unfeeling, the most terrifying creature in the universe. His power level was 530,000, far above even the power of a Super Saiyan. After hearing that his power was only 21,000 a few moments ago, it shocked Goku that one person could be so strong. It's at this point that Raditz, instead of trying to force Goku to help them, forgets his pride and asks Kakarot to help them. Earth would surely fall under Frieza's gaze one day, after all. Goku doesn't know what to do, but he's not the sort of person to turn away someone who's sincerely asking for help. Goku agrees to help him, on the condition that Raditz doesn't hurt anyone on Earth and gives up conquering planets. Raditz, in no position to argue with the Super Saiyan, reluctantly agrees to his brother's terms. Goku smiles. Finally, after 8 long years, a real challenge to train for. The next year is one of intense training. I feel like Raditz would mention to Goku about the gravity of Earth being far weaker than that of their homeworld, planet Vegeta. 10 times, in fact. Goku would then ask Bulma and Dr. Briefs if there's a way they could make a gravity machine. Thanks to them already having the technology lying around, courtesy of a certain galactic patrolman, it doesn't take them much longer than a month to build a fully functional, reinforced gravity chamber similar to the one installed on Goku's ship on the way to Namek. I say this because, well, Dr. Briefs doesn't have to create an entire spaceship out of a tiny pod this time, so it takes a lot less time to build. Goku and Raditz would be training at 10 times Earth's gravity for a few weeks, maybe a month. Goku soon gets used to it though, and dials it up to 20 times. Now Raditz has to get used to the gravity as well, which obviously increases his gains as well as Goku's. The year passes by, and Vegeta and Nappa have arrived on Earth. Goku and Raditz have already sensed them and are heading towards them. Vegeta and Nappa see this on their scouters and meet them halfway. Raditz has improved. He's now above Nappa, sitting at around 8,000. Vegeta turns his eyes to Goku. Could he really be a Super Saiyan? Surely not. According to the scouter, his power is only around 10,000. He looks to Raditz, demanding to know why his power is so high now. Raditz reveals that he and his brother, along with one of the Earthlings from time to time, were training at increased gravity. Vegeta nods. Excellent. Now they had 4 strong Saiyans. Goku cuts in to tell Vegeta the deal. If they want his help, they'll have to promise not to harm anyone on Earth, and to give up their planet-conquering ways. Nappa is intimidated by Kakarot's power level, but Vegeta scoffs. Who does he think he is, giving the prince orders? Vegeta says that if Kakarot doesn't have the power to defeat him, then he doesn't call the shots. Goku smirks at Vegeta, and asks if he'd like to test his power. The epic clash between Goku and Vegeta doesn't really last that long. Without having learned the Kaioken, Goku doesn't really stand a chance against Vegeta in his base form, Vegeta being at 18,000 and Goku's base only being at 10,000. But all of that changes when Goku turns Super Saiyan, and his power skyrockets up to 500,000, causing both Vegeta and Nappa's scouters to explode. Vegeta is trembling, with both shock and awe, and maybe a little bit of rage. He really is a Super Saiyan. Goku repeats his deal to the stunned Vegeta, and Vegeta, like Raditz, reluctantly agrees to his terms. They'll need that kind of power if they're going to have any chance against Frieza. And I think that's where we'll leave it for today. So, what do you guys think of the story so far? How do you think it's going to go from here? Leave your ideas and any other what-ifs you want me to have a crack at in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, it'd be amazing if you could leave it a thumbs up and subscribe for more of these what-ifs. Until next time.